welcome to this micro lecture on entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. Now, these are familiar words and concepts, but what is an entrepreneur? What is entrepreneurship? Is this the same as being enterprising? Now, these are good questions. They're relevant questions when thinking about planning and starting a venture. We need to know the functions and competences of the entrepreneur in order to ensure that we have the human resources to launch a successful business. So what is an entrepreneur? Well, we all know what they look like, and we're familiar with the stereotypes and the myths that are shared with us by the media in shows such as Dragon's Den and The Apprentice. They tend to be suited and booted, businesslike and serious, and, more often than not, they're men. And these are the stereotypes that shape our understanding of what an entrepreneur is. But the reality is a little different. Entrepreneurs are a very diverse collection of people. They come from different backgrounds, have different experiences. We can begin to break down the notion of entrepreneurship into different categories and concepts. For example, we might want to think about entrepreneurship in terms of their economic impact and in terms of creating jobs and businesses and business ventures. This would be the perspective of government agencies charged with supporting economic development and enabling businesses to flourish. This is the economic perspective of entrepreneurship. But at the same time, entrepreneurs might be characterized by personal qualities, often referred to as traits theory. So here, entrepreneurs are not considered in terms of impact, but the types of qualities that make them an entrepreneur. Creativity, resilience, tolerance to risk, leadership, etc. Again, there are those entrepreneurs who are driven by a social agenda. Social entrepreneurs are more concerned with a social mission and social impact rather than profit, although a social enterprise must make a profit to be viable. So these businesses are often conflicted between profit and social impact. There are also what can be called necessity entrepreneurs, those enterprising individuals who start a business out of necessity, as there are no jobs, rather than opportunity entrepreneurs who see the opportunity before they act and are drawn to the potential of the idea. Of course, we can also talk about corporate entrepreneurship, that is, big businesses acting entrepreneurially. Corporate entrepreneurship, or intrapreneurship, can be described as a process used to develop new businesses, products, services, or processes inside of an existing organization to create value and generate new revenue growth through entrepreneurial thought and action. And the person here can be described as an intrapreneur. Additionally, we can ask questions about the cultural context for entrepreneurship, which kinds of people are more likely to adopt this identity than others. Cultures of individualism are more likely to produce and value entrepreneurship than those based on collectivism. Again, the stereotype of the entrepreneur is more likely to be male than female, and these representations can have effects on how people relate to this identity. We can only be what we see, is a popular saying, meaning in this context, if we can't relate to the people who are represented as entrepreneurs, it may be that we will not be drawn to this role. In terms of the role of the entrepreneur and what they do, it can be useful to compare them to the manager role. The entrepreneur is more comfortable with risk, uncertainty, and change, and their skills are around leadership and creativity, whereas the manager is risk-averse, concerned with stability, systems, and processes. Sometimes an individual can be good at both, but often they're not. Yet both personalities are essential to the long-term health of a business venture. So to conclude, this discussion is to help you recognize the complexity and diversity of the notion of the entrepreneur, and to help you begin to see how you might fit into this identity, and how this might help shape your thinking around startup and a startup team who can help make your plan investable. Good luck.